Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, classmates. For today's video, we are going to tackle about the Chapter 7, the teacher and the community. Teachers' ethical and professional behavior. At the end of this chapter, you should be able to illustrate the different professional ethics and behaviors for teachers, to describe how the code of ethics can help or guide a teacher in the day-to-day performance of his work, hence resulting for good teacher. And lastly, to exhibit the professional behavior as set out by the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers in the Philippines. Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers, Article 3. The very title of this unit indicates that teachers are expected to be part of the community. To be part of the community definitely means to participate in the life of that community. Now, the question is, what is that community referred to here? And how can teachers be part of that community? Well, that's what we're going to find out in the 8 sections of the Article 3, the Code of Ethics for Teachers, within the school and the community outside the school. Teacher as a facilitator of learning. Article 3, Section 1 states that the teacher is a facilitator of learning and the development of the youth. Therefore, shall render the best service by providing an environment conducive in learning and growth. So, facilitator comes from the word facilitate, which means to make something or to make learning easier. The teacher facilitator provides an educational atmosphere where students have the opportunity to fulfill their potential for intellectual, emotional, physical, and psychological growth. Evaluates the needs and abilities of students and determine methods and techniques that best present and provide instruction to students within assigned subject areas. Ensures students show continuous improvement in learning basic and essential skills. Embrace technology and looks for a purposeful way to engage students. Welcomes the challenge of creating an engaged and vigorous curriculum that makes connection to important concepts and ideas within and across discipline. You, as the professional teacher, facilitate learning or make learning much easier. Learning is a difficult task and is made easier when you make dry lesson interesting, enjoyable, and exciting. As a professional teacher, we make learning easier when we simplify the complex and concretize the abstract. And this is what is ethical for every professional like you ought to do. And this we can do after 4 long years of academic preparation. What happens sometimes, however, is teacher complicate the simple and teaches only at the abstract level. To facilitate learning, a conducive learning environment is necessary. It has been proven that learners learn best in a pleasant environment. A pleasant environment is where the learners can be themselves because teachers are caring. No need to put the best self forward because teachers and classmates truly care and take you for who you are. And there is no place for all forms of bullying in a conducive learning environment. A conducive learning environment makes learner believe that they can do their work and feel accepted a favorable learning climate is not competitive like everyone is tense. The teacher who believes that every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists they become the best they can possibly be. Like teacher Rita Pearson in TED Talk, is a facilitator for learning. So that is how a teacher should be a facilitator in her own classroom. Too much with the section number 1, which is teacher as facilitator of learning. And now, let us proceed with our next topic, which is teacher leadership and initiative for community participation. Section 2 refers to the leadership and the initiative of the professional teacher in the community movements for moral, social, economic, and civic betterment for the community. As professional teacher, you do not live in an ivory tower, meaning you are not supposed to be removed or aloof from the community life. Schools are at the heart of the community, and you as professional teachers are expected to be in the world and in the world with others and for others. The word provide leadership and initiative in Section 2 of Article 3 implies that as a professional teacher, you have not to wait for the community to ask for help. Instead, take the initiative to help the community without asking for help. For every teacher is an intellectual leader in the community, especially in the barangay, and shall welcome the opportunity to provide such leadership when needed, to extend counseling services as appropriate, to be actively involved in matters of affecting the welfare of the people. And you do not just welcome the opportunity to lead. Section 2 states that professional teacher ought to take the initiative to offer your help for the improvement of the community. Many a time, you can be a guidance teacher, prayer leader, commentator or reader in a religious celebration, fiesta coordinator, or judge in or coach for a contest, financial advisor, a nurse, a doctor, prayer rolled into one. So as a professional teacher, it is not just about teaching students within the school. It is also our ethical behavior to be part of the community, to be part of the life of the community. As what I have observed with my professors today, they engage in different kinds of activities that is related in our community, just like having a contest or a dance competition. They use their talents, they share their talents to their students to make the program successful, and they also offer their help to the community. Providing leadership and initiative also means working with the community. This means getting the parents and other members of the community participate in such activities. So as what I have said earlier, there is a cooperation between the school and the community to engage in a community celebration. Teachers, as they participate in the community affairs, proves that they are the most responsible and most important members of the society, because their professional efforts affect the fate of the earth.
So, good day everyone. I am Bernadette JAZEL C. Marquette from DSN Math 2A. So, for today, I will be discussing or I will be reporting the section 3, 4, and 5 since Miss Malamdag already discussed the section 1 and 2. So, To continue the discussion of Section 3, the Section 3 is all about the professional teacher with honor and dignity. So, Section 3 states that every teacher shall merit reasonable social recognition, for which purpose he shall behave with honor and dignity at all times, and refrain from such activities such as gambling, smoking, drunkenness, and other excesses, much less illicit relations. So, society expects so much of teachers that when they fail to live up to the challenge to behave or model good behavior, they are condemned without trial. So, in this, society seems to expect much more from professional teachers than from any other professional. So, the society look at teachers with scrutinizing eyes. So, other quotation states that the influence of a good teacher can never be erased, but the influence of a dishonorable teacher is lasting. So in this section, when we say honor, it pertains to a good reputation, and of course, if you possess a good reputation, dignity follows, which means that you are worthy of respect. Teachers must be mindful that they are still a school employee, even outside of the school campus. For example, a teacher must know how to dress properly and appropriately. They must also refrain themselves as from wrongdoings, such as speaking bad words, smoking, gambling, or even drinking alcoholic beverages, since these all can ruin the reputation in front of their students. And the thing to happen is that if they are being caught by their students doing this kind of inappropriate actions, doesn't believe their teachers anymore, most especially if their teachers are prohibiting them to do such kind of action. Above all, they might not respect their teachers anymore. In this case, all school employees should be aware that they are almost being watched by their students and other community members. Therefore, how they carry themselves really matters. So now, let's tackle about the Section 4, which is all about the teacher's attitude towards local customs and traditions. So Section 4 expects that every teacher to live for and with the community and shall therefore study and understand local customs and traditions in order to have a sympathetic attitude, therefore refrain from disparaging the community. In this Section 4, which is the attitude towards the local customs and traditions, it is all about the teachers that are being deployed in the provinces or urban places. So like for example, in urban areas, we have different cultures and traditions. So all we have to do is respect their culture, and we avoid, or even we don't have to show them that our culture and traditions are much more higher, or let us say in top in other cultures. Instead, we have to treat each other equally, because they accept you respectfully in their town, so respect them also with the culture and traditions they used to live in. So for instance, a teacher who was assigned in Baganga, Davao Oriental, she was deployed there, and the people living there are Mandayas. So as a teacher, she is the one who adjusts and also respect their norms and beliefs. In short, she had to adapt and learn how to speak Mandayan dialect to communicate with her students efficiently. So we are done in section 3 and 4. So my last topic will be the section 5, which is all about the professional teacher and information update. So section 5 states that shall help the school inform the community about the school works, accomplishments, needs, and problems. Community here refers to internal as well as external stakeholders. When we say internal stakeholders, includes the students, the parents of the students, and the teachers, while external stakeholders are other parents in the community without children enrolled in school, such as barangay officials and other government officials, non-government organization, government organization, and alumni. In section 5, responsibility as a teacher is to update the community to what the school needs or problems for the community to be aware, and the problems will be solved. So for example, in a school where there are students who need equipment in their electives, or the TechVoc students, is they have to consult and say to the head of the program or the assigned personnel that they are lacking of equipment or they will be needing this equipment. So part of the section 5 will be the Parents and Teachers Association, or what we call the PTE. So a Parents Teachers Association is an association of teachers and parents with children who enrolled in a school. It is a forum for discussion on school problems and how they can be solved. Parents and teachers had to meet or conduct a meeting to discuss about the school problems and the needs to the students. And it is being conducted by the teachers who want to hear the suggestions and complaints from the parents of their students. Example, the teacher conducts a PTA meeting in a school where the presence of the parents is needed, so that the teacher will know or to hear the suggestions or complaints from the parents. So the last part in this section 5 is that the school governing council. So the school governing council has different membership and functions. An SGC, as a policy making body, has the school head as a chief executive officer, manager, and chief operations officer. The SGC is a proof of school leaders on his or her leadership with the members in the community. The school head creates policy or rules that are needed in that institution, and also a policy that can discipline the students' behavior. Through the policies, the students will have limitations in their actions. For instance, here in CTU, we also have our school head. So we can see that he has leadership with the members of the institution, because as we observe, the policy are very effective. The students are disciplined through it. It determines the policies of students' welfare, discipline, and well-being. It also concerns in the development and improvement of school in the evaluation of school improvement plan or SIP plan. So that's all about my topic. So since we are done in section 1 to 5, so Miss Villiardo will continue the discussion in the section 6, 7, and 8. So that would be all, and thank you.
Section 6 states that every teacher is intellectual leader in the community, especially in the barangay, and shall welcome the opportunity to provide such leadership when needed, to extend counseling services as appropriate, and to actively be in matters affecting the welfare of the people. So the section 6 tells us that as a teacher, we are an intellectual leader in the community. We are professionals, so it is expected that we can be someone whom others can easily talk to if they have problems. So that is why we can provide also counseling services where we can talk to any people in our society, process their problems, and help them resolve it. But then again, it tells us that we also have these limitations. These limitations tells us that as a teacher, we should be the one who resolve the problem, or we should be the one who is helping in resolving the problems in the society, not the one who causes the problems. The professional teachers and government officials and other professionals. Section 7 states that every teacher shall maintain harmonious and pleasant personal and official relations with other professionals, with the government officials, and with the people individually or collectively. As a professional teachers, we cannot afford not to be in pleasant relations with others, especially those whom we work with, like other professional teachers. It is best to be in good terms with everyone else in the community. That is why we have these interpersonal skills. These interpersonal skills are our abilities to build harmonious and pleasant personal relationships with other professionals in our own society and with the government officials. When we say harmonious and pleasant relationships, it does not mean illicit relationships, because when we say illicit, it means unlawful. And as a professional teachers, we are expected to abide the law. So we are expected again to form or to build relationships that are lawful. So that is why, as much as possible, we should build relationships that are positive, that are professionals with other professionals and with the government officials, because when we are not be able to form relationships that are pleasant and harmonious with the people in the society, then our license will be revoked. So one way for us to build this relationship is for us to join seminars and to join organizations in the society, because through this we are able to communicate with the other professionals that would result into having good environment with the other professionals and with the government officials as well. The professional teacher does not use position to proselyte. Section 8 states that a teacher possesses freedom to attend church and worship as appropriate, but shall not use his position and influence to proselyte others. To be in a position means to have power, to have influence for a purpose. Like for example, for us teachers, we have this position of influence, and we use this position to perform our job as a professional teachers, where we impart knowledge and educate our students. It is highly unprofessional for us teachers to use our position of influence to proselyte, because according to the 1987 Philippine Constitution Article 2, Section 6, no law shall be made respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The free exercise and enjoyment of religion's profession and worship, without discrimination or preference, shall forever be allowed. So as a professional teachers, we have the freedom to choose our own religions. And also, no one can control us in regards to our religious beliefs. And at the same manner, we are not allowed to proselyte our students, and especially the people in our locality, meaning we are not allowed to force them, to ask them, to plead them to be part of our religious organization. Because we, as a teacher, if we have the freedom to choose our own religion, to have right of our own, then our students also have this freedom at the same thing. We do not have to use our power to proselyte our students or to proselyte others, to force them, to let them believe in what we wanted them to believe. Because as an individual, them as a student, and as a person, as a people in the society, they also have their freedom to choose on what to believe. They also have their freedom to choose on what they wanted to have for themselves. So to sum it all up, this chapter talks about the Article 3 of the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers that states, a professional teacher shall live for and with the community. The community includes internal stakeholders and as well as the external stakeholders. For the learners, the teachers facilitate learning and the development of the youth. And to do this, the teachers have to create a nurturing, positive learning environment. And for the community, the teachers are the leader. The teachers take the initiative and leadership to actively participate in community affairs and for the upliftment of both school and the community. And this can readily happen if the teacher are in a harmonious relations with all people in the community. And also to keep the parent and community involvement in school, they must be updated with happenings in the school accomplishments, achievements, problems, and as well as the projects. And lastly, at all times, at all places, and for all people, don't misuse nor abuse that authority or power bestowed on you as a professional teacher.